In a quiet small town on the edge of a dense forest lived Detective Sammer, a man haunted by a mystery from his past. 5 years ago, he had investigated the strange disappearance of a local girl, a case that had shaken the town to its core, but had never been solved. The pain of that unsolved case still lingered, driving a wedge between him and his wife and causing him to neglect his work. He longed to leave the shadows of that mystery behind and just live a quiet life. But fate had other plans. That's when a letter arrived at his office, changing everything. It was written on aged, textured paper, the kind that seemed to absorb the ink rather than letting it sit on the surface. The letter was unsigned, but what made it more eerie was the content. Written in a shaky hand was a single sentence: "Trust no one, for the shadow is watching. The secret is buried in the past." Was this a threat or a warning, and what did it mean? Sammer tried to dismiss it as some sort of sick joke, an overzealous fan trying to make a creepy point. But as the days passed, he couldn't shake off the unease that the letter had stirred within him. Then came the news that shook him to his core. His childhood friend Emma had disappeared. One minute she was there laughing, the next she vanished without a trace. As he rushed to her house, his mind raced. Could this be related to the letter? Was Emma in danger? When he got to her house, he noticed something peculiar: a diary lying open on her desk, its pages filled with strange symbols and markings that seemed almost alien-like. It was clear that Emma hadn't just vanished, she had been taken. But who had taken her and why? Sammer felt a sense of urgency coupled with a deep sense of foreboding. He looked at the diary, its pages filled with cryptic entries that seemed to hold the key to the mystery. But how could he decipher them? He needed to understand the language, to decode the message hidden within its lines. As he delved deeper into the investigation, he discovered a pattern in the seemingly random symbols. They were coordinates. But coordinates of what? A race against time began as Sammer used the coordinates to lead him to an old abandoned cabin in the woods. The place sent shivers down his spine. It looked like something out of a horror movie, dilapidated and decrepit, its windows like vacant eyes staring back at him. He cautiously approached the cabin, his heart pounding in his chest. As he stepped closer, he noticed something. Ow! The bricks around one of the windows were slightly dislodged. It was clear that someone had been hiding there, watching him. Who was it? Was it the shadow mentioned in the letter? With a mix of trepidation and determination, Sammer pushed the bricks aside, revealing a small cavity. Inside was a key. It was old, its surface worn smooth with age, but something about it seemed familiar. Suddenly, he remembered. This was the key to the diary. Each turn of the key would reveal a new set of coordinates, leading him closer to the truth. He hurried back to the car, adrenaline pumping through his veins. With shaking hands, he inserted the key into the lock. The first set of coordinates led him to an old library in the town, a place filled with dusty books and forgotten tales. Here, Sammer discovered a hidden message, a name, Clara Blackwood, buried deep within the archives. The second set of coordinates took him to a hidden clearing in the forest, where he found an old photograph of Emma's parents with a woman named Clara Blackwood. It became clear that Clara was more than just an acquaintance. She was Emma's biological mother, a secret that had been kept from Emma her whole life. But why? What was the reason behind the secrecy? And what did it have to do with the disappearance of both Emma and her mother all those years ago?
Ow.
Sammer felt a surge of determination.
Ow.
He was getting closer, but he knew he was running out of time. As he followed the remaining coordinates, he found himself at the edge of a deep ravine. At the bottom he saw Emma tied up, her face pale and drawn, but she wasn't alone. Beside her was a woman who looked strikingly similar to Emma, yet older, her face etched with years of hardship. It was her mother. And then he heard a voice, a raspy whisper coming from the shadows. "It's too late, detective. You can't save her. The secret stays buried." The voice belonged to an old, frail man who stepped out of the shadows. It was Mr. Blackwood, Emma's father. With a trembling hand, he explained that the secret had been eating away at Emma, so he and his wife had decided to tell her the truth. But someone had found out and taken her away. Now, with Samar having uncovered the truth, the game was over. This mystery had claimed another victim, Detective Sammer's humanity. Just like the case of the missing girl all those years ago, another mystery had been solved, but not without a cost. The shadow had struck again, leaving Samor and his town shrouded in darkness.